r/AskReddit, what's the dumbest thing you've heard someone say in the classroom? In your teacher's defense, he was probably just a little high. Both wrong, the capital of Spain is the S. Wow, that's unreal. Muhammad Ali was responsible for the Twin Towers, which fell in 2010. So that's why they blame Obama. Law school. Professor, you have 1.5 hours and the exam will end at 3:30 p.m. Law student, how do we know when it is over? Professor, there is a analog clock on the wall. Law student, it doesn't tell me the time. It's not digital. I mean, to be fair, they said it doesn't tell them the time. I once told a teacher that DNA spells N backwards. She gave me a piece of candy. Bless your heart, child. I told a teacher that any sequence of repeating 6 and 9 are the same when you turn the calculator upside down. I thought it was cool. She looked at me like I grew a second head. Probably not the dumbest, but memorable. 10th grade biology. Not sure why it came up, but I know for sure it was in biology. Does anyone know who Galileo was? Didn't he invent the stars? The older I imagine you when this happened, the funnier it gets. I may be stupid, but does it not? I was in line to ask the teacher a question and the kid in front of me asked the teacher, "Mr. Cowley, are you gay?" Teacher replied, "Daniel, I'm flattered that you would come out to me, but it wouldn't be appropriate for me to date a student." To which Daniel instantly panicked. Yeah, I pulled that trick out on students who thought they were being staggeringly witty with this one too. Shuts them right up. I like doing a Jamaican accent. It's the only Middle Eastern accent I can do. Completely serious freshman. He's exhibit A whenever I argue my school needs a geography class. Your school doesn't have a geography class. I had to explain to my cousin's BF that my Honduran GF was not a South American Mexican. Years ago, one of my students took offense at a grade. They were in my face about it. Why did I receive this grade? This is bullshit, and so on. It was a self-graded assignment. I'm gonna need some more explanation. He graded his own paper and wrote 57 on it or whatever, and then suddenly a look of shock comes over his face. Jesus Christ. I remember when kids would ask if Columbus invented America. Ah yes, great Columbus formed an entire landmass by himself, hee hee. How did you get 4 from 2 plus 2? Algebra class eons ago. Our teacher was going through an expression, and a girl in the class was frustrated/confused at the answer given. After several minutes of back and forth of the teacher trying to explain how he got there, she ended with that question. My head hit my desk. The class audibly laughed. I'll never forget that day. Wow. Literally confused about 2 plus 2. In world history class in 10th grade we were learning about Mesopotamia, and when the teacher was talking about how people traveled etc., a girl asked, "And they rode around on dinosaurs?" People laughed thinking it was a joke, but she doubled down and insisted that ancient people rode around on dinosaurs. Teacher had to explain to her dinosaurs had died off millions of years before human history. Fire instructor, what's the number 1 cancer among firefighters? Class guesses a bunch. Fire instructor, no, testicular. Girl who used to be a nurse, what's that? Bro, you can't just end the story right at the part where it's best. What happened after that? Wait, why? Why are firefighters contracting testicular cancer? During astronomy classes in college, it's a late class, a gal in the dark room was made aware the sun is a star and immediately threw out logic and got pissed that the sun is a sun, not a star. Teacher, which is the closest star to Earth? Hands shoot up. Student 1, Alpha Centauri. Student 2, smugly he's partly right. It's Alpha Centauri Proximus. Teacher, actually you'll find it's the Sunday. Students, error. The moon must be closer than Florida, because I can't see Florida. Yeah, that guy was a massive drug addict wannabe rapper who died at the age of 22. Was his rapper name Lil Perception Issues? He was actually just a poor boy, from a poor family. I mean, the moon could be closer than Florida. It just depends how high you are. That is more sad than anything. Things must not have been great for him at home. Back in college like 10 years ago, I was sitting behind this woman who was in full military fatigues. We were in an upper division political science course. We were discussing WW2 and this woman started ranting. The professor just let her go on, but she was in shock. What was she ranting about? She was making an argument that Hitler is a civil rights hero. WTF. Oh. Just this week I had a kid turned in his test, Then ask about 10 minutes later if he could change one of his answers. I asked why, and he proceeded to tell me that, 1. He didn't know that there were 2 versions of the test, 2. He was doing the problem correctly but second guessed his answer, and 3. Decided to change his answer to the answer on the other version of the test. I cheated wrong. In my 9th grade cooking class we were discussing eggs and one girl scoffed and said that's silly, everyone knows the eggs you eat and the eggs chickens come from are different animals. I'm nearly 30 and still laugh about this. The question is, what animals does she think the eggs we eat come from? When I was in like 5th grade we had to do a report on a US state and present it in front of the class. A girl in my class was assigned Washington State. She started her report with Washington is where the president lives. The teacher stopped her and told her to sit down. I thought this until my late teens. Though to be fair, I've lived my whole life in Australia. Idiots, he actually invented gravity. 14 years old, science class, biology lesson, boy asked the teacher, was it true that you need to pee inside a girl to make a baby? Thanks a lot South Park. LOL, I would have been like, you have to go all the way, peeing won't do, squat, shitting is minimum requirement. Last year in my AP language class I overheard some classmates trying to decide when World War II happened. They settled on the 1960s. Typical AP Lang students. I thought the Jews and the Nazis were the same people. Reminds me of one kid in high school. The topic of anti-Semitism came up. After a moment, with a straight face, he asked, why are people racists against Semet? Double-digit % of people under the age of 25 in the US believe the Holocaust was either a myth, or b. something bad that Jewish people did. 2020 poll at colleges nationwide, link. This is very much a real thing. WTF. My first year of law school a student was cold called on a case which required grievous injury to be proven. The student tried to argue that the injury in the case didn't rise to the level of grievous. The teacher responded quickly with, you don't think a decapitation counts as a grievous injury? This one girl in high school thought Crime and Punishment was a murder mystery and straight up tried to convince our English teacher she honestly read the book instead of admitting she had no idea what it was about. Tis but a scratch. In high school someone said they would never receive blood from a gay man because he doesn't want to turn gay. It's okay. After they get better, they can always ask for straight blood to fix them. They just have to control themselves until then/s. One of my classmates was asked what MPH stands for and made the audible sound MMPH. MPH stands for the sound the engine makes. MMMMMMMMMMPH. London Tipton IRL. Takes open note test at a state college. Take your notes out for the test. I didn't take any notes, you talk too fast. That human sperm cells contain an enzyme that only recognizes human eggs, which is why evolution is fake. Apparently he believed that evolution meant different species interbreeding to create a novel species. It was a health science class at a community college, and he was the teacher. He had a petition he passed around to his students to sign so he could teach biology. That was an easy no for me. I remember once a girl pronounced the country Niger in the wrong way. Sometimes I mess up and pronounce it as artichoke. Not sure about the murder, but it's definitely a mystery to me. It's whatever is asked by the person who needs to feel involved and recognized by the teacher. The Eiffel Tower is in Paris. Raises hands, so the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, France. I once watched a collegiate level student throw an imaginary 3,000-year-old spear to clarify how a spear works. Some people just aren't worth the money spent on higher education. Spear guy sounds absolutely exhausting to be around. In high school, we had a student who tried to hang herself in the bathroom with a shoestring from all of the bullying. Needless to say, the string broke and it was a huge scene. A class later, some shitlord kid said, she is so fat, she couldn't even hang herself. I'd say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody say in school, and was probably the only time I yelled at somebody in high school. After PE class on a hot day we were all tired and sweaty. 5th grade teacher told 2 girls, wow, you look really hot. I died laughing as I was 11 and immature. I was like 25 and a coworker mentioned hot. He thought another coworker looked really hot coming back from another building. Our other building's A/C was out and I knew that, but I still cackled at his comment. One time in 8th grade, 12-year-olds, English class, there was a kid who confused the word seduce and subdue and proudly asked in a discussion about a book, why didn't Ben just seduce Maddox? It was me. I was that kid. Picturing this in a Bond-esque spy movie. Mission control needs you to subdue the target. Got it? Seduce the target starts graphically making out with the enemy. Deleted. Well, that was one heck of a twist. In 6th grade, my teacher asked the class what's the capital of Spain. I raised my hand and said Madrid, and he looked at the map and said nope, it's Portugal. I was fucking flabbergasted, didn't know what to say. He starts talking again, but thankfully the class nerd interrupted him and said, no, it's actually Madrid. Portugal is the country next to Spain. No, this shit got edited. What was the ungodly funny story? This was a wild ride to read. Damn, I'll never know. What the fuck, that last one? I had a professor in college who really liked chocolate and wine, and would talk about both of those things quite a bit. In that same class was a white dude who clearly wasn't up to speed on any kind of inclusivity stuff. One day he literally told the professor that he should be into beer, not wine, because beer is for guys and wine is for girls. Can confirm, last time I touched a wine glass my arm hair fell off and my nails became painted. Always counting on the nerds, love it. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.